Welcome back, friends. Today we are stepping into one of the most subtle but essential teachings in Buddhism's path. How do we know whether a feeling pleasant or painful is actually good for us? It might surprise you. Not all happiness leads to peace, and not all pain should be avoided. Let's explore this through a classic dialogue between King Milinda and the wise monk Venerable Nāgasena, a conversation that cuts right to the heart of spiritual confusion.
Venerable Sir, you say that pleasant feelings can come from wholesome actions, kusala, unwholesome ones, akusala, or even neutral states. But that doesn't make sense to me. If something is truly wholesome, how could it ever involve suffering? And if there's suffering, it can't possibly be wholesome. To me, true happiness must always feel good, and only come from good actions.
Here's where many of us get stuck. Like the king, we assume, if it feels good, it must be good. If it hurts, it must be wrong.
Listen well, Your Majesty. Consider this. A Buddhist walks miles under the blazing sun on his alms round. His feet burn, his shoulders ache, sweat soaks his robes. He's exhausted, truly in physical pain. Yet his intention is pure during festival or charity event. He walks with humility. He sustains his life without harming anyone. He does it to support his practice of mindfulness and wisdom. The pain is real, but the action is wholesome. The discomfort doesn't make it a kusala. It's kusala, rooted in generosity, restraint, and effort.
This is crucial. Puna wholesome action is defined by intention, satana, not by how it feels. You can be doing something deeply good and still feel tired, frustrated, or even sad, and that's okay. In fact, that's part of the path. Think of a parent staying up all night with a sick child, exhausted, worried, yet acting from pure love. Someone telling a hard truth to protect a friend, feeling anxious, but choosing honesty over comfort. A student practicing meditation, sitting through restlessness or doubt, feeling nothing but struggle, yet building mental strength. These are wholesome actions, even if they hurt in the moment.
But Venerable Sir, what about the opposite? Can something feel good, but still be harmful?
Indeed, Your Majesty. Imagine, a person lies to get out of trouble and feels relief. Someone gossips and enjoys the thrill of drama. A hunter takes down an animal and feels proud. A person drinks to numb their pain and feels temporary euphoria. All of these bring pleasant feelings, sukha vedana, but the root is greed, hatred, or delusion. Akusala, that pleasure, it's like sugar-coated poison, sweet on the tongue, but it feeds suffering in the long run.
Exactly. This is why the Buddha taught in the Satipatthana Sutta, don't judge a feeling by its taste, judge it by its root. 1. Some pain is healing like exercise discipline or ethical restraint. Receive it with mindfulness. 2. Some pleasure is destructive like indulgence, deceit, or addiction. Let it go with wisdom. Feeling alone is never the full story. What matters is, what intention gave rise to it? Where will it lead to peace or to more suffering? So here's your practical takeaway today. 1. Wholesome actions puna can feel hard. Don't reject them just because they're uncomfortable. That difficulty may be exactly what's purifying your mind. 2. Unwholesome actions akusala can feel good. Don't trust every pleasant feeling. Ask, is this leading to harm or to freedom? 3. Train yourself to choose wisely, not by sensation but by wisdom. As the Buddha said, not by feeling but by intention. Is action kusala or akusala? So next time you feel joy, ask, what's feeding this joy? And next time you feel pain, ask, is this pain leading me toward clarity or away from it? That's how we walk the middle way, not chasing pleasure, not fearing pain, but seeing clearly with mindfulness and discernment. So last time we saw that not all pleasure is good and not all pain is bad. But now, things get even more interesting, because how we experience feelings, even the same feeling, depends entirely on who we are and how we train our mind. Let's return to King Milinda and Venerable Nāgasena.
Your Majesty, imagine a man. One person places a red-hot iron in his left palm. Another places a block of ice in his right. Both hands tremble. Both burn with sensation. Yet one from fire, one from frost. Now tell me, is this trembling because of heat?
No, Venerable Sir, not just heat.
Is it then because of cold?
Nor just cold, Venerable Sir.
Exactly. So you cannot say, this feeling is simply hot, or this feeling is simply cold, because feeling isn't the object, it's the mind's response to contact, and the mind, it doesn't experience two things at once. In truth it flickers, instant by instant, from pain of heat to pain of cold, so fast they feel like one wave of suffering, but they are two distinct moments of Vedana, and that, Your Majesty, is why in Buddhism said, feeling is not self. If it were, it wouldn't cause distress.
Now the king is stunned, and Lord Nāgasena reveals something even deeper. The Buddha taught there are 108 kinds of feeling, Wait, don't panic. You don't need to memorize 108 types. This number isn't mystical. It's a map showing just how layered and fluid our inner life really is. Think of it like this. Step 1. 6 doors of experience. We experience the world through 6 sense doors. 1. Eyes, sights. 2. Ears, sounds. 3. Nose, smells. 4. Tongue, tastes. 5. Body, touch. 6. Mind, thoughts, memories, ideas. Step 2. 3 flavors of feeling. Through each door, 3 kinds of feeling can arise. 1. Pleasant, joy, comfort, liking. 2. Painful, sadness, irritation, fear. 3. Neutral, boredom, indifference, calm. So 6 doors multiply by 3 feelings, equal to 18 basic feeling patterns. But here's the key insight the Buddha gave us. Step 3. 2 kinds of people. The same feeling. Say hearing bad news feels radically different depending on your mind. 1. The ordinary person who living in home. Desire, greed. 2. The Dhamma practitioner. They study mindfulness and having restraint. Same feeling, different relationship. So we count 18 for the untrained mind plus 18 for the trained mind equal to 36. Step 4. Time changes everything. Feelings aren't just now. They live in 3 time zones. Past, remembering joy or regret. Present, feeling pain or calm right now. Future, anticipating loss or hope. 36 multiply 3 equal to 108 kinds of Vedana. Again, don't memorize it. Understand the message. Feeling is not a solid thing. It's a river shifting by sense, by mind state, by time. So what does this mean for you sitting at your desk or scrolling on your phone? It means, when you feel anxiety about tomorrow's meeting, that's future-oriented domanassa. When you crave another episode on Netflix, that's present somanassa rooted in sense desire. When you feel nothing while walking in nature, that's neutral feeling through the body door. All of these are natural. None are you. They're just weather in the mind, arising, lasting a moment, and passing. Even advanced practitioners feel sorrow. Imagine a monk thinking, I've meditated for 10 years, why haven't I reached stream entry? That's domanassa. But it's born of spiritual urgency, samvega, not hatred. It's wholesome pain like the ache of stretching a muscle to grow stronger.
Listen well, Your Majesty. Just as a skilled charioteer knows the wheel, the axle, the reins, not confusing one for another, so too must you learn to see feelings as they are. 1. Fleeting. 2. Conditioned. 3. Empty of self. When you do, you stop grabbing at pleasure like it's salvation. You stop fleeing from pain like it's punishment. You simply know, this is pleasant feeling arising from contact. This is painful feeling, impermanent, not mine. And in that knowing, freedom begins.
Now that we've seen how feelings pleasant, painful, or neutral are fleeting, impersonal processes, the king asks the most profound question of all.
Venerable Sir, if Vena is just a momentary process, then what natural law, what Dhammata, causes beings to be reborn again and again? What makes birth follow birth, life after life?
This isn't just curiosity. This is the heart of the entire cycle of suffering. And Venerable Nāgasena answer cuts through centuries of misunderstanding.
Your Majesty, it is nama-rupa, mind and body, that fueled by kamma, leads a being to take rebirth.
Then is it this nama-rupa, this very body, this mind, this me, sitting here at the present, that goes on to be reborn?
This is the $1,000,000 question, the one that trips up nearly everyone. Do you travel to the next life? Does your consciousness pack a suitcase and move into a new body? The Buddha's answer, delivered here by Lord Nāgasena, is clear.
No, Your Majesty, this body with its eyes, hands, breath ends. This present stream of consciousness ceases at death. It does not travel. It is not reborn.
Let that sink in. There is no you that transmigrates, no soul, no permanent self, no consciousness floating from life to life. So what does continue?
Listen carefully, Your Majesty. In this life, a person acts through body, speech, and mind. They perform panna wholesome deeds as positive energy, or papa unwholesome deeds as negative energy, using this present nama-rupa body and mind as their instrument. But it is not the instrument that causes rebirth. It is the vipāka, the fruit, the result of that kamma, which when conditions are ripe, conditions the arising of a new nama-rupa body and mind in a new life.
Think of it like this. This body and mind are like a candle flame. Your actions, your generosity, your patience, your greed, your hatred produce kammic energy, like heat from that flame. When the candle burns out, the flame goes out, this life ends, but the heat remains as potential. If another candle is nearby, that heat can light a new flame. Is it the same flame? No. Is it completely unrelated? Also no, it's a new flame conditioned by the old one's energy. In the same way, this life ends, this you dissolves, but the kamic results of your actions, your panna vipāka, the result from positive energy, and papa vipāka, result of negative energy, become the conditions for a new mind and body to arise. That is what is meant when Lord Nāgasena says, Nama Rupa leads to rebirth, not because the same Nama Rupa continues, but because kamma dependent on Nama Rupa body and mind gives rise to a new Nama Rupa body and mind.
So this present me isn't reborn. But if only the force of past panna and papa causes the new birth, then once reborn does a being escape the consequences of their past actions?
Listen well, your majesty. Only if there is no rebirth at all would one be free from those results of panna positive and papa negative. But as long as rebirth occurs, one cannot escape the fruit of one's own panna and papa. Only the arahant, who has uprooted craving, exhausted all kamma, and ended the cycle, is freed from both panna and papa. For all others, where there is birth, there is kamma's fruit. Where there is fruit, there is kamma's whence.
This is the unbreakable law of kamma, not punishment, not reward, but causality. You are not punished for your past, you are shaped by it. Imagine you plant a mango seed. You die. The tree that grows is not you, but it grows because of the seed you planted, and it will bear fruit, sweet or sour, based on that seed's quality. So the practice is clear. Use this precious human Nama Rupa, this rare temporary flame of life wisely. Plant seeds of panna, generosity, kindness, truthfulness, restraint. You uproot the weeds of papa, greed, hatred, deceit, cruelty. Because the harvest in lives you cannot yet see depends entirely on what you do with this flame, right here, right now. Now the king voices the doubt that haunts even modern minds. If the doer is gone and the receiver is someone else, then who actually experiences the result? Think about it. The person who gave generously, gone. The one who harmed with cruel intent, also gone. Their body has turned to dust. Their stream of consciousness has ceased. So, is the murderer innocent? Is the generous heart unrewarded? Is kamma just meaningless? This isn't just philosophy. If we answer wrongly, we fall into nihilism, thinking, I'll die and none of this will matter. But the Buddha's teaching is neither nihilism nor eternalism. It's something far more precise and far more responsible.
Venerable Sir, could you give me a simile to make this clearer?
Listen well, your majesty. Imagine a man sneaks into an orchard, climbs a mango tree, and steals its ripe fruit. The owner catches him and brings him before you, the king. The thief argues, I'm innocent. I didn't steal the original seed. That seed rotted long ago in the soil. This fruit grew from branches, from leaves, from sun and rain, not from the seed. So how can you say I stole your mango? Lord Nāgasena turns to the king. Your majesty, if this thief stood before you and claimed this, would you acquit him? Would you say, you're right, the seed is gone, so the fruit is free for the taking?
Of course not, Venerable Sir. That would be absurd. The tree belongs to the orchard owner. The fruit is the result of his planting, his care. The thief stole what was not his regardless of whether the seed still exists.
Lord Nāgasena reply, exactly, and so it is with kamma. The intention you planted in the past like a seed has ceased, but the process it set in motion matured into this mind and body, and now you experience its fruit, pleasant or painful. You are not the same as the one who planted that seed, but you are not disconnected from it either. You inherit the results not because you are that past person, but because this life arose in dependence on that kamma. This is the heart of it. Kamma is not carried by a who, it unfolds through a how. There is no soul transporting merit or sin, but there is causality, unbroken, impersonal, just, like one flame lighting another. The second flame is not the first, yet it could not exist without it. So too, the doer and the experiencer are neither identical nor utterly separate. They are linked by a stream of conditions, nama, rupa, craving, and kamma. This is the middle way, not eternalism. No permanent self travels from life to life. Not nihilism, actions do have consequences, even if you don't last forever. When instead, you are the heir to your own kamma, not by identity but by causal continuity. And that's why this life matters. You may not be the one who planted the seed of your current suffering, but you are the one holding the fruit, and right now you are planting seeds for futures you will never meet, yet which will unquestionably arise from what you do today. So ask yourself, what kind of orchard am I tending? What seeds am I planting through my speech, my choices, my intentions? Because when the fruit ripens, someone will taste it, and that someone will be born from the causes you set in motion. That is Dhamma, the natural law, not fate, not punishment, not magic, just cause and effect. The king has seen through the thief's trick, but Venerable Nāgasena isn't done, because the human mind clings to clever escapes even from truth.
Venerable sir, could you give me a simile to make this clearer?
Lord Nāgasena, your majesty, imagine this. In the cool season, a man lights a small fire in his yard to warm himself, but he is careless. A single spark escapes. It lands on dry grass. The grass ignites. The flames leap to his rice field, then to his neighbor's field, then to the entire village. Homes burn. Crops vanish. Livelihoods are destroyed. The villagers trace the fire back to him. They bring him before you, the king. The man defends himself. Your majesty, the fire I lit, the small flame by my hut, has long since gone out. The fire that burned the village, that's a different fire. I don't even recognize it. I'm only responsible for the first flame, and that flame is extinguished. So how can you blame me for what this other fire did? Lord Nāgasena turns to the king. Your majesty, if this man stood before you and spoke these words, would you let him go? Would you say, you're right, the original fire is gone, so you're free?
No, venerable sir. Even if his words sound clever, I would still hold him responsible. Why? Because the great fire arose dependent on his carelessness. Yes, the first flame died, but his negligence was the proximate cause. He cannot escape blame, not because the same flame traveled, but because his actions set the whole chain in motion.
This, dear friends, is kamma in action. That man's argument sounds logical. The cause is gone, so I'm not responsible for the effect. But causality doesn't work that way. Think of your own life. A moment of harsh speech, just one angry word can wound a relationship. That wound breeds resentment. Resentment becomes silence. Silence becomes estrangement. And years later, a family is fractured. When the pain peaks, you might say, but that was just one word I said months ago. That moment is gone. Yet you are still standing in the ashes that single spark created. Lord Nāgasena, exactly, your majesty. The original comic intention, the careless act of mind, ceased in that instant. But it planted a condition, and when met with other conditions, habit, emotion, circumstance, that seed ripened into a blaze. You are accountable, not because you carried the fire, but because you lit the match. Now this is why mindfulness is urgent. We are not just living in isolated moments. Every intention is a spark. A flash of greed can ignite years of craving. A burst of hatred can fuel cycles of conflict. A moment of delusion can blind you to harm you cause. But the reverse is also true. A spark of generosity can warm a stranger's life for years. A flash of patience can diffuse a crisis before it explodes. A moment of clarity can redirect an entire life. Kamma is not punishment. It's natural law like fire. If you play carelessly with flame, you don't get punished by the universe. You simply experience what fire does.
Venerable sir, so responsibility isn't about a permanent self carrying a burden. It's about being the starting point of a causal chain.
Lord Nāgasena, yes, your majesty, and since you, this present stream of nama rupa mind and body will experience the results of that chain as pleasant feeling, painful feeling, or even as the conditions of your next rebirth. It is the height of wisdom to be vigilant about the sparks you release right now. Look at our present time. You are not a soul carrying karma like luggage. You are a moment of awareness standing at the edge of a fire you helped ignite. And in this moment you can choose to feed the flames of greed, hatred, and delusion, or to light the gentle fire of dana, sila, and panya. The first burns, the second purifies. That is the path. That is the practice. That is how you become free, not by escaping consequences, but by planting seeds that lead to liberation. The king is not satisfied with superficial answers.
Venerable sir, could you give me a simile to make this clearer?
And Venerable Nāgasena offers one that strikes at the very heart of how we misunderstand ourselves. Lord Nāgasena, your majesty, imagine this. A man, following custom, betroths a baby girl as his future wife. He presents gifts of gold and silver. A binding agreement is made, witnessed, lawful, clear. Then he departs for a distant land. Years pass. The infant grows. She becomes a woman, wise, mature, radiant. Her body is no longer that of a child. Her mind is shaped by years of experience. In every visible way, she is different. Now a second man arrives. He sees her, is captivated, and asks for her hand. Her parents, perhaps forgetful or swayed by new promises, agree. She marries him. Just then the first man returns. He protests. She is my wife. I betrothed her lawfully as a child. The second man replies, that infant you betrothed, she is gone. This is a different person, a grown woman, with her own thoughts and will. Your claim is void. Lord Nāgasena turns to the king. Your majesty, who is right? Does the first man have a rightful claim, or does the second?
Venerable sir, the first man's claim is valid. A lawful agreement was made. The fact that the girl has grown changed in body and mind does not nullify the commitment. She is not the same as the infant, but she is the lawful continuation of that child. The second man is mistaken.
This is brilliantly clear even to modern ears. We all understand, change does not erase responsibility. The woman is not identical to the baby, but she is the direct lawful heir to that child's life, including its commitments, and so it is with kamma. You may say, the person who acted in my past life, that nama rupa is gone. I don't remember them. I never met them. That wasn't me. So why should I suffer or enjoy their results? But this is wrong view. Just as the grown woman inherits the betrothal made in her infancy, not because she is the same child, but because she is the continuation of that life stream, so too, you inherit the kamma of your past, not because a soul carried it, but because this present nama rupa arose in dependence on that past kamma. Lord Nāgasena, precisely, Your Majesty, the infant and the woman are neither the same nor totally different. They are links in a single condition continuum. The kamma performed by the past stream matures as vipāka for the present stream to experience. The commitment, the cause, binds the continuum. Not a self, not a soul, but causality itself. Now think of your own life right now. That child you were, gone. Yet you are still reaping what that child sowed. If that child studied, you now have knowledge. If that child harmed, you may still carry regret or consequence. If that child was kind, you may still feel the warmth of old friendships. You are the heir not by identity, but by continuity. And that means you cannot escape your kamma by saying that wasn't me, because you are the lawful continuation of that me.
Venerable Sir, so the continuum itself is what bears responsibility. The chain of cause and effect is the true heir to kamma.
Lord Nāgasena, yes, Your Majesty, and that continuum, this flowing stream of nama rupa, shaped by craving, ignorance, and kamma, is what we mistakenly call I and mine. To see it as a process, not a person, is the beginning of wisdom, and it is the only path to freedom from all such binding agreements. Here is the good news. You are not trapped by the past, because right now you are making a new agreement with the future. Every act of generosity, every moment of restraint, every choice rooted in wisdom is a new betrothal, not to suffering, but to freedom. The future you, the next link in this chain, will inherit exactly what you plant today. So choose wisely, not for a self that lasts forever, but for the continuum you are shaping, moment by moment, with every spark of intention. That is the Dhamma. That is responsibility without a self. That is the path to liberation.
Venerable Sir, could you give me a simile to make this clearer?
Lord Nāgasena, listen well. Your Majesty, consider a man buys fresh sweet milk from a herdsman. Trusting the herdsman, he leaves it overnight for safekeeping. By morning, the milk has soured, curdled, acidic, no longer drinkable as fresh milk. The buyer returns and demands, "Give me back my fresh milk, the one I bought yesterday." The herdsman hands him the same container, the same milk, but the buyer refuses. "This isn't my milk. I bought sweet milk, pure, wholesome. This is sour. It's completely different, so it's not mine." A dispute arises. They bring it before you, the king. Lord Nāgasena asks, "Your Majesty, if you were to judge this case, to whom would you award the milk?"
Venerable Sir, I would rule in favor of the herdsman. Why? Because the buyer purchased that very milk. It became his from the moment of purchase. The fact that it changed overnight, from sweet to sour, does not make it someone else's property. The substance is the same, only its condition has changed.
And this, dear friends, is the deepest truth of all. Just as fresh milk naturally sours, not by theft, not by magic, but by natural conditions like time, warmth, and unseen forces, so too, the nama rupa of a being, human, animal, deva, or ghost, changes continuously, from moment to moment, from life to life, from joy to suffering, from virtue to delusion. The form shifts, the experience transforms, but the kammic continuum remains unbroken. Therefore no one can say, "That past life where I harmed, lied, or acted with greed, that wasn't me. This new life is innocent, so I reject the result." That would be like the buyer shouting, "This sour milk isn't mine, it's different." But the truth is, it is the same milk, now ripened by conditions. It is the same stream, now bearing the fruit of past kamma. Lord Nāgasena, exactly, Your Majesty. This is the law of kamma, impersonal, inescapable, just, the very heart of the Buddhism's teaching on responsibility and rebirth.
Venerable Sir, I see it now. The mango thief, the careless fire, the betrothed girl, the sour milk, they all point to one profound truth. There is no static self, but there is unbroken causal continuity. I am not the same as the one who acted in the past, yet I am not disconnected from them. I am the heir to my own deeds, and I cannot escape their results by saying, that was a different me. Now I understand. My doubt has vanished completely.
No matter how thoroughly scientists, philosophers, or anyone else examine a dead body, whether by dissection, analysis, or advanced technology, they will never find a soul, a self, or any enduring essence within it. This is not due to lack of tools or intelligence, but because there is in truth nothing to find. There is no permanent self, no soul, and no conscious entity that departs or travels after death. At death, the five aggregates cease. There is no you that goes anywhere, only the dissolution of a conditioned process. This truth is profoundly subtle. Even the highest devas and brahmas, despite their long lives and refined states of being, cannot fully grasp it. It is a truth obscured by ignorance for countless aeons until the arising of a Buddha. Only the Buddha, through perfect wisdom, saw this clearly and revealed it to the world. No other teaching, philosophy, or science has uncovered or articulated this with such precision and compassion. How rare and precious then is this human birth in a time when the Dhamma is still accessible. To be born, to hear the Buddha's words, and to have the chance to understand anatta. This is truly a cause for awe, gratitude, and earnest practice. So what does this mean for you right now? It means your present moment is incredibly powerful. You are not a prisoner of a fixed fate from a past you, but you are the custodian of a living, flowing process, your mind stream. Think of it like this. You've already bought milk through every thought, word, and deed you've ever made. That kamma is yours, but right now you decide the conditions in which it ripens. Are you storing it in heat, feeding it with greed, anger, distraction? It will sour quickly. Or are you keeping it cool and clean with dana, sila, sati, virya? It may still change, but it changes toward wholesomeness. You are both the buyer and the herdsman. You perform the action and you shape the conditions for its result. You can't undo the milk you've already bought, but you can choose the temperature of your mind right now. This is not philosophy, this is reality, and it is the ultimate empowerment. Your future is being prepared in the kitchen of this present moment. So ask yourself, what am I cultivating now? What seeds am I planting? What temperature am I storing my milk at? May we too see with such clarity. May we stop blaming the past and start shaping the future, not as a self, but as a stream of wise intention. Because freedom doesn't come from denying kamma, it comes from mastering its causes, until no more sour milk is made and the stream flows straight to nibbana. With these 5 similes, the stolen mango, the careless fire, the tipped lamp, the betrothed girl, and the souring milk, Venerable Nāgasena has shown us the middle way, the Buddha's deepest truth. No eternal soul transmigrates. No annihilation occurs at death, yet kamma is real, vipāka the result is real, and moral responsibility is unshakable. This is not belief, it is natural law like gravity. Listen carefully. Every being, human, animal, deva, or any form of life who acts through body, speech, or mind cannot escape the result of that action, whether past, present, or future. At death, the nama rupa you call yourself dissolves completely. Consciousness and form break apart. Nothing permanent remains. No soul, no spirit, no me that travels. It simply ceases, empty, impermanent, not self. So, what leads to a new birth? Not a person, not a ghost, not a wandering mind. What arises is the result of kamma, specifically, the ripened fruit, vipāka of past intentional actions. Now in everyday language, people often say, positive actions like generosity, kindness, honesty, and moral restraint lead to happiness, peace, and favorable conditions. Negative actions like greed, cruelty, deceit, and hatred lead to suffering, fear, and painful outcomes. The question is often talked about over and over on the internet, and religious people, or anyone who wishes to spread their ideal, often say God created everything as an easy escape. They know nothing about panna, positive energy, nor papa sin, negative energy at all. Why are you here? You are created by God. Your soul is connected to God, etc. But now let us be very clear, you can't escape from panna, papa, negative energy as long as you are born, and only an arahant can escape it. Panna gets its result from wholesome action, called kusala. And papa, nāgasena, gets its result from unwholesome action, called akusala. You are subject to being born, growing old, getting sick, and dying. Impermanence. Who created you? There is no you in the first place. It is nama rupa, body and mind, as vipāka, meaning the result from panna and papa sin, giving you this life. If you seek at the very beginning of you can't find anything. At death, you are gone, all body and mind gone. Your rebirth is the result of panna and papa sin. They create action, called kamma, and that kamma creates a new body and mind again as human, animal, etc. Only an arahant can end rebirth. So when you hear God created humans, you feel safe and rely on something, but you forgot your action matters. Right now you create good action or bad action, which leads to vipāka as result in the future. Vipāka means result or that which comes to happen, because the word means result plus action. Being reborn as a human, kusala vipāka plays the role to create the new you. Questions like who created the universe, or who created you, are done here because there is no one. Vipāka, kusala, panna, papa, sin, they are not a thing, it is the processing. There is no owner to be found, and you, your body and mind, are like a stream. When it dies, it is ending. Nothing is to be found, and yet the processing continues again like a seed creating a new tree. The debate of King Milinda and Lord Nāgasena brings a lot of insight and helps us understand the basics of the world we face and our misunderstandings, so we can understand clearly. It is amazing, and good luck, and see you next time.